The UK is undergoing a massive transformation, one coin at a time. With the recent change in leadership, the United Kingdom is ready to enter a new era. And what better way to symbolize that than to give the iconic 50p coin a makeover? In this video, we'll talk about the new coin circulating in Britain, featuring King Charles for the first time, including rumors of the new king being on the $5 note. First off, the new coins featuring King Charles are in the works. The Royal Mint announced that the coins featuring King Charles are currently being made. We're thrilled to see the first look at the new coins, which will start circulating in December. Once the new coins circulate, they'll slowly replace the ones with Queen Elizabeth's face on them. But for now, they'll co-circulate alongside the coins Brits already use. So don't worry, shops will still accept your old coins. Martin Jennings, a British sculptor, designed the likeness of King Charles on the coin. He said he tried to show the power that King Charles holds now, while still staying true to his warm personality. It was reportedly the smallest work of art he'd ever produced in his entire career. Mr. Jennings says it has to be an exact portrait, but also that says something about the lasting values of the institution he represents. In subtle and tiny ways, you can put these things across. We also heard that a set of memorial coins was released on October 3rd to mark his great moment in British history. The memorial of 50p commemorates the life and 70-year rule of Queen Elizabeth II. We can't think of a greater honor to the late Queen. While the new coins are being made, the old ones with the Queen's face will still be regulated as usual. Of course, till they get shut down on their own. We can't wait to see the new coins being circulated publicly soon. Moving on, when can we expect the circulation to start? We've already seen the first set of coins and how they look in pictures, but it'll be a little while before we get to see them in wallets and purses. We know the coins are currently being struck, but when will the public use them? According to the Royal Mint, the answer is very soon. Though we don't have the exact date, we'll catch our first glimpses somewhere in December. Then gradually, from 2023 onward, every coin from 1p to £2 will be minted with King Charles' likeness. There are almost 27 billion coins featuring the portrait of the late Queen still circulating in Britain, so it'll take some time for the new coins to circulate properly among the population. We also want to let you know how this is a big change in the United Kingdom. For the last 70 years, the UK has been looked over by the same monarch, even for the Royal Mint. This is an important moment. We can't wait to see how the public will react to this historic change. Up next, the memorial coins pay tribute to the late Queen. While one side of the coin shows the new King Charles, the other pays tribute to the late Queen. The design holds a deeper meaning for the late Queen and the new monarch. It features a design first seen on the late monarch's coronation crown in 1953. We think the design is gorgeous. It includes the 4 quarters of the royal arms, shown within a shield. Between each shield is an emblem of the UK nations: a rose, a thistle, a shamrock, and a leek. In the coins, the late Queen is facing towards the right, but King Charles is facing towards the left and opposite of his mother. As traditions go in the royal family, every monarch is supposed to be looking to the left of their predecessor. We're pleased to see King Charles giving his grand tribute to his mother. These coins are also important because they'll circulate throughout the country. This will make the tribute known to everyone. King Charles himself approved the design for the coin, so we're sure he's pleased with how everything turned out. Following up with, will Australia keep up with the tradition of having a monarch on a $5 note? With the change in the new coins and the change in monarchy itself, talks of Australia keeping the $5 note with the monarch's face on it is in discussion. But we can't say much right now because it's a matter of national interest. The Assistant Minister for the Treasury says that having a monarch on the $5 note was more because of the late Queen's character than anything else. This is a very controversial statement, so we're yet to see how they'll be making this decision. While the statement got some wild reactions, it's still important to help us understand the matter more. Bringing in some crucial background info, the Queen's portrait appeared in Australia's first polymer banknote series in 1992, along with the £1 and $1 notes. We know that a $5 note is the least valuable in Australia because it was ditched way back in 1992, but it was still running solely because of the late monarch. So now, it'll be interesting to see the Australian government's decision. Just to let you know, the $5 note has featured the monarch's face for at least a century now. We think it's a sensitive matter, but we're curious to see how this will turn out. Moving on, removal of the monarch in Australia. While the Reserve Bank of Australia is still deciding on whether to replace the Queen's face on the $5 note with King Charles' face, we're seeing some arguments happening around it. Some people are on the side of keeping up a tradition and sticking to the old ways of having the monarch on the $5 note. At the same time, some are heavily against it. One of them is the Australian Republic movement. While the Australian Republic movement agrees with keeping the traditions intact, they're also against keeping the monarch in Australia. They're campaigning for the British monarch to be completely removed from Australian currency. We know that's some crazy controversy, but it's also a given. We think that we saw it coming, especially after the death of Queen Elizabeth. This was bound to happen. While Australia is dealing with internal issues regarding this, the decision is still hanging, and no one has yet agreed. This is understandable, but a decision is needed urgently. So, we're thinking they may have to agree soon, considering that it's a massive change, whether it to be complete removal of the monarch or just letting the late Queen's face stay on the $5 note. This will be interesting. It'll either resolve the issue or instead create a whole new one. The removal of the monarch from Australian currency will become history. So we'll just have to wait and see how the authorities decide, and in whose favor. Lastly, controversial to have King Charles' face on the $5 note or not. Everyone's in a state of confusion about whether the monarch will still be present in Australian currency. Some people like Jim Chalmers, the Treasurer of Australia, think that the removal of the king from the nation's money should be uncontroversial, while others don't agree with him. They think it's about time an Australian is honored instead. The screen actor and activist Uncle Jack Charles has also been named as a potential replacement for those who favor the currency change. The Bank of England stated that the new notes with King Charles's face would be revealed by year's end. They'll also be in circulation by mid-2024. Even then, these notes will only be printed to replace the old ones featuring the late Queen's face. This extensive timeline to decide also gives Australia enough time to come up with a decision of its own. If the matter is simply because of tradition, traditions can be altered somewhat to adapt to the current situation, socially and politically. Well, as we know, even if the decision is made to keep the monarch on the Australian currency, they would still need to receive an official portrait of the new monarch. For many people, this might not be as controversial as it's made out to be. It's still a sensitive issue we hope to see resolved soon. Since the Australian government deals with pressuring political matters, we think matters such as altering the currency's design might not be too high on the agenda list. This also explains why there hasn't been a conclusive decision yet. So once the internal issues are solved, the RBA might be ready to decide on the monarch's presence. We'll be waiting for it to unfold. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the new coins? What's your opinion on the monarch being present in the Australian currency? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one!